I'm currently in Washington, came for a couple of days for a specific reason to advocate for our son Daniel, the return of his body for burial, and of course all of the hostages that's returned to their families. Just wanted to share with you some experiences here in Capitol Hill, a sentiment, a feeling when one spends time in the halls of power and of political prowess. It is so easy to feel the majesty and grandeur of power, just indeed why it is that God has given blessings to say on the leaders of countries because of the enormous power he has imbued them with, to almost godly-like power to transform and to change the course of human history. But one of the things I kept feeling from this week's parasha, Behar-Bechukotai, Parashat Behar was Daniel's parasha exactly 11 years ago in Parashat Behar in South Africa, just before we made Aliyah and came here. Daniel read Parashat Behar. And in the parasha it says, emphasizes that the mitzvah of Yovel, the Jubilee year, the sabbatical year, why do we have to return the land to its owners? Why can it be that there's only a maximum of 49-year lease? You can never own the land, no matter what the circumstances, because, as it famously says in this week's parasha, because no human being can ultimately own the land. Ki li kol haaretz. The creator of the world, God, the land, everything ultimately belongs to him. Yes, we are custodians, we have ownership rights, but ultimately it all belongs to him. And that's something always to remember. We have to do every single thing we can for the sake of changing history, shaping our own lives. We can't rely on God to the exclusion of taking full personal responsibility. We have to do every single thing we can. That it says, Ki shesh yamim, that God created the world in 6 days, Shebra Elokim la'asot, that he created it to do. Sheshet yamim ta'aseh, we have to do everything we can. God has given us the power of human action, imbued in B'Tselem Elokim, that we can shift, create, transform the future of our own destiny. But we always have to remember not to become punch drunk from our own power. Ultimately, said God, I want to remind you through the Sabbath, through the sabbatical year, and through the Jubilee year, that ultimately it all belongs to me. Ki li kol haaretz. And I always walk around with this dichotomy. On the one hand, doing every single thing we can within our human power, as if it's all dependent on us, to do whatever we can for the sake of our lives and the lives of Klal Yisrael and those around us. But in the absolute knowledge that everything belongs to Hashem. We live in His world and not ours. And it's only with that realization that ultimately, Leiv Melachim V'Sarim B'Yad Hashem, that it's the hearts of rulers and princes and kings and prime ministers and presidents which are in God's hands. When that we inculcate that and understand that fully, that it's ultimately all in His hands, then we can and should do everything we can to walk in the annals and in the corridors of power, to be those shlichim of Hashem, which ultimately can change the world through human action. And human action, to be absolutely committed to do everything we can with full responsibility, knowing full well that we live in His world, not ours. Ki li kol haaretz. All we have and all is Hashem's, and we do all we can to use those blessings to shape the future of human and Jewish destiny. Bring them home. May this war, please God, bring every single one of our hostages home. Should Hashem protect every one of our soldiers, be able to defeat the evil of Hamas on our doorsteps, and bring every one of our hostages home.